Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Trams87. Yes, you read the title correctly. First Planets. Come with me on a perilous journey of realm and cosmos exploration beyond light. The battle between the light and the dark draws closer and closer to a crescendo, an escalation, an end. If another battle between the light and dark happens, how will it end? These questions plagued my thoughts, and thus I was driven to read, to search in the Ascendant Realm and Golden Age records for some truth. Believe me when I say it was no small task to find some semblance of truth or an answer to such a big question. What is our destiny? And how did we get there? Recently I came across information I believe to have been overlooked in the beginning of how our universe was created within destiny. Have a listen to this lore entry from the journals of Clovis Bray, page 34. And it reads, "What?" I demanded. "This rock is almost 13 billion years old." The geologist whispered. "It formed with the very first generation of planets, less than 1 billion years after the universe was born. We are standing on a dissected piece of one of the first worlds." "That's not possible," the astronomer protested. "That's a Type 0 hypergiant up there. They're lucky to live 2 million years, and its metallicity is 15 sigma above average. That is not an old star." I opened my proxy arms to the light. The gate had taken us to a miracle. This star was big enough to fill the solar system from the sun to the orbit of Neptune, bright enough to shine like the full moon, even from the distance of Alpha Centauri. Yet here I was, unblinded. Something had tampered with this star. Our physicists identified a lensing effect, magnifying the star's optical size and redshifting its radiation. It was as if the whole behemoth was wrapped in some kind of skin, but that was only the beginning. What does this mean? To put it into greater context, Clovis Bray had been led by clarity, some form of darkness, to create a portal to another world or plane, otherwise known as Volantis. When they arrived, it contained materials, hypergiants, stars, and super advanced technology beyond that of Earth's, and all of it predated anything we knew to have existed before our universe. This alien world was from a first generation of planets, which made no sense. How can there be a first generation of planets that existed outside our universe? This isn't an uncommon occurrence. We already know that the awoken people used to live in the distributary, an unknown plane or region of space. If that's the case, it would mean then that there is far more in this story than we are aware of. Creation outside of creation. Have a listen to this lore entry from the lore book Unveiling, titled T equals 0. And it reads, "We wrestled in the garden, in the loam of possibility, where nothing existed and everything might. A shadowed agony among the flowers. We trampled the petals beneath our feet. We stomped the fruit to a pulp. and we ground the seeds into the dust. In the wet pop of grapes and the smear of berries, in the perturbation of field that was the garden before the first tick of time and the first point of space, where the detonations that made the universes. Each universe was pregnant with its own inflationary volumes and braided with every ramifying timelines, each volume cooling and separating into domains of post-symmetric physics, all of which were incarnations of that great and all-dictating bipartite law that states only exist lest you fail to exist. And still, we fought. We brought down the tree of silver wings and left the stump to smoke amid the meadows. We left prints of our splayed feet and our straining backs in the clay. Our trampling feet made waves in the garden, which were the fluctuations around which the infant universes coalesced, their first structures. The dilaton field yawned beneath existence. Symmetries snapped like glass. Like creases, flaws in space-time collected filaments of dark matter that inhaled and kindled the first galaxies of suns. And still, we grappled. Our rolling bodies pushed things out of the garden. Worms and scurrying life from the fertile soil. Wet things from the pools and the leaves. They came out into the madness of primordial space. They thrashed and became large. And I won. I won because the gardener always stops to offer peace, and when they do, I always strike. But by then, it didn't matter. The game was over. The garden had given birth to creation. The rules were in place, and there would never be a second chance. We played in the cosmos now. We played for everything. And the patterns in the flowers, terrified by our contention, were no longer inevitable victors of a game whose rules had suddenly changed, and they passed into the newborn cosmos to escape us. So though we aren't certain about every tiny detail within this lawbook, it is in fact written by the Dark to us, the Guardians, to sway us into its philosophy. But it doesn't mean certain aspects aren't true. So here is my idea of what this means. Joe Blackburn from Bungie confirmed in last week's Road Ahead that Lightfall will not be the end of Destiny, but truly a beginning. It will signify the end to the battle between the light and the dark, and we know that there is a battle between both. Now, Destiny is filled with unlimited possibility, and we know this to be true because of the Ascendant Plane, but I believe that the future of Destiny could take us outside of our own universe, into other universes or planes, where there are other beings and entities like the light and the dark, or if you would prefer, the gardener and the winnower. There is even potential for the Jovians who exist outside our solar system. It could be a possible narrative, or even that of the infamous Nine, and of course, the Saturnian system also exists. And even further out beyond your wildest dreams. That being said, it's seriously exciting picturing and imagining what is possible within the Destiny universe and what we can expect next. For now, that's all I have for you. If you have enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a comment or a like, and also consider hitting the bell notification and subscribing to find out when my next upload goes live. Remember, that no matter what you're facing today, you can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.